This review, for better or for worse, is going to make or break me. I know that for a fact. Why? Because I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot for the sake of it. So let's get started. This is Mega Man NG, and I welcome you guys to the TMNT season, or rather, TMNT 2012 Season 2 Finale Review. It's been a long road, but now we reach the end with the invasion. And I'm reviewing both parts, like how I did in the middle of the season and how I did in Season 1. So here's the deal. I'll provide a summary, as well as so much stuff that's in it. It's gonna be insane. And I mean truthfully insane, because if you've seen how much notes that I've taken for this, oh man, you would have a field day. Let us start. The Turtles know that the Kraang are preparing an invasion, but they don't know when. Shredder, meanwhile, contemplates his decision in teaming up with the Kraang. He allies with them. It has begun. The Foot make their move, going after April and Irma. The Turtles still look for Karai, but no success. Leo and Don, however, can't decide on how to go about this plan, leading into an argument. But things go from bad to worse when the Kraang arrive, forcing Don to take initiative after Leo gets separated from the others. Now it's a battle to save Earth, not only from Shredder and the Foot, but the Kraang who have begun their invasion. Can the Turtles, April, Casey, and Splinter stop Shredder and the Foot, send the Kraang packing, and save Earth before it's too late? A big summary, yes, considering that this is a two-part season finale, as it is with what I've done before with Season 1. But, I mean, this two-part season finale is insane. Absolutely insane. You know how big the risks are, but I never thought it would be this big. Especially with Kraang and the Foot striking without warning and without mercy. And trust me, it's more like a coincidental timed attack. Part 1 starts with a bang, as the Kraang invade, the Foot go on the offensive, and soon it becomes a fight to save their home and Earth. Trust me, the Foot actually starts things off by going after April and Irma, but when April brings Irma to the Turtles HQ, that's when her true colors are revealed. Yes, Irma, who as you know was a character that has been around for like most of Season 1 and 2, is in fact a Kraang in disguise. Or rather, Kraang Subprime. This season finale marks the debut of Kraang Subprime. Last season we had Kraang Prime, which was the leader of the Kraang, voiced by Roseanne Barr. This one you got Kraang Subprime, voiced by one of my favorite voice actors ever, and I mean one of the best. A voice actor that I've known many, many times. We know him best as Iago from the Aladdin films, but here, Kraang Subprime is voiced by Gilbert Gottfried, and I swear, Gilbert Gottfried delivered an amazing performance as Kraang Subprime. Compared to Kraang Prime, which is like the big hive mind, Subprime is a bit more volatile. I mean, her Irma thing pretty much turns into like a robot, and it's like insane, as like so much destruction. It's absolutely nuts, and the battle between Subprime and Splinter was a highlight for me. We all know about the goal that is going on between the Kraang and the Foot. Shredder wants Splinter and the Turtles. The Kraang, however, wish to make Earth and turn it into a new home planet for the Kraang. Remember last episode when Leatherhead warned them that they perfected the mutagen? Well, it actually goes in full swing as it's now starting to mutate anything and everything around them. I mean, it's just all around chaos, and that's how part 1 ended. It ends with the city in complete chaos. The Foot go on the offensive, the Kraang are invading, and then Kraang Prime shows up inside like a big giant robot complete with some mutagen gun, emerging from a portal ready to spread it. How do you top that? How do you top what cannot be topped? I mean, if that's not how you end the first part with the situation going really bad for the Turtles and everyone, I don't know what is. But then it leads into part 2 where Kraang Prime is invading. And both parts are just intense, especially in the second one, which really feels like the end has come. The highlight for me in part 2 is Leo. Leo doing his hardest to survive against Shredder and the Foot, and despite his best efforts, he is defeated and ends up crashing through the window. I will be explaining that in a bit as to what that means, but let's continue. Splinter and Shredder also have their confrontation, and it's a battle unlike any other. Even with Leatherhead's help, it is intense. Unfortunately, it leads to Shredder defeating Splinter. Yeah, talk about a downer ending, because it actually gets even more downer. Also, April's dad gets mutated. Again. Remember in the beginning of the season when he was turned into a mutant bat? I wouldn't be surprised if it was called Wingnut, and then was restored back to normal, then gets mutated again, and due to the perfected mutagen, he turns into some kind of Kraang. And I can hear April's like, not again. Also, Timmy makes a cameo in this episode. It's seen again, but he's mentioned that he'll be defrosted in about 70 years. I still feel bad for Timmy, who ends up suffering due to what happened with this. It really does. Despite the Turtles and their allies' best efforts, there is no victory. And even though they do their hardest against Kraang Prime, they do defeat her mech Bob with the help of the Turtle Mech. No, it was a hollow victory, because in the end, they lost. It just kicks you in the gut, because yes, we lose. The good guys lose. Yeah, I had to make that quote somewhere. It just kicks you in the gut because we lose. And trust me, they lose bad. I mean, there is no victory. It's just defeat all the way. And even though they had no choice but to escape. Now, why is that? That's how the episode ended. You want to know what the surprising thing is? Both of these episodes adapt part of a 3-part story arc consisting of the following things. What Goes Around Comes Around, Silent Partner, and True Stories. True Stories is adapted in the first, somewhat in the first episode of season 3, which I will explain next week. However, for the other 2 parts, it's adapted very well. Though if I were to make there are a few differences here and there. The only difference is that in the original Mirage comics, the Turtles were ready to decorate a Christmas tree. Leonardo was battling the foot and gets beat and then crashes through the window. Even the 1990 film, which adapted this somewhat, they made one slight change. The only change was that instead, it was Raphael who fights the foot, and pretty much it was changed so that Raph crashes through the window. Everything else continues as is. And it's the same thing here. However, here in the 2012 series, the Turtles are hiding from the Kraang because the Kraang are invading around this time. Did I forget to mention that the 2003 version also adapted this, and it was adapted to it very accurately? Yeah. There was no battle in the antique store in the 2012 version. They were just trying to escape from the Shredder and the Foot and the Kraang, and they had to use an old party wagon to do it. Yeah. It's just all around depressing. Speaking of which, the Turtle Mech also makes its debut here, and it looks like Don decides to bring out their own Voltron or something like that, their own Megazord. They defeat Kraang Prime with a very unorthodox way, being able to jack into the power of the city, electricity, and zap all that electricity into Kraang Prime's robot. They did that. It was just really intense. But despite this, they end up getting beat, and they have no choice but to retreat. And yeah, Kraang Prime is still vicious, even when outside the mech. Even outside, it is still deadly. It was a really good season finale with a downer ending, especially with the final scene, because Shredder ends up throwing Splinter into some kind of watery whirlpool. And the Turtles, I swear, I could feel their pain. I could feel their pain seeing Splinter getting thrown into it. It's just overall messed up. It really is messed up, but Mikey assures Raph that Splinter will be alright. In the last scene, we see Karai saving Splinter. Karai, still in her mutated snake form, means that there's still a bit of human within her. But what will happen to Splinter, I don't really know. I don't really know because I never thought this season would end in such a manner. The Turtles escape New York despite their victory against Kraang Prime. Splinter is injured in his battle against Shredder, only like I said, to be saved by Karai, and the Kraang have successfully invaded the Earth. They have invaded the city and have now claimed it as their own. Talk about a downer ending, because I'll be honest with you, I mean, wow. Just wow. Last season had its happy ending. This week decides to throw a monkey wrench and give you a downer ending instead. Because, I mean, it's just so good. Yet it's so frustrating how you feel bad for all these characters. All the Turtles, April, Casey, everybody. My God. Yeah, I'm sighing because I'm just sad. I really am sad because, yeah, what's going to happen to them now? We're going to find out in Season 3. This season finale also marks Dominic Catchambone's last role as Leonardo. He was made as a temporary since Jason Biggs left the show in episode 18 of Season 2. Leo's new voice actor that would start in season 3 would be one that would be stuck with for the rest of the series. And I may as well say it because I'm going to be ending up saying it anyway when I do the review next week. He's going to end up being replaced by Seth Green, and they actually do provide a detailed explanation as to why the voice change had to happen. Not to mention it was also in the universe too. But yeah, surprisingly, here's the weird thing about this. The season finale was aired a week in advance on Nick's website. They had to air the episode before it would actually air on TV. I don't really know why Nickelodeon does this. It's bad enough they air episodes out of order, but it's worse off that they air episodes like a week before it would be released on TV. I can understand that just to build hype, but come on. Come on. And yes, it's been like about 2 or 3 years since it aired, but looking back on it now, I feel it was a bad move. It was a bad move for Nickelodeon just to release the season finale early on their website, because let's be honest, it's during a time when most action cartoons don't get that much popularity, or in some cases they get actually screwed over. They get screwed over because, well, just because a show is good doesn't mean that the networks that hold it say otherwise. They only say that because they would rather prefer more comedy. And sometimes you can't have too much of a good thing. Just tell that to Teen Titans Go. I still have to provide my thoughts on the Rise of the TMNT 2018 teaser, which if you've already saw the video of, you will see it. Trust me, you will. But yeah, this season, my God. Like I mentioned, the season finale was great. I really enjoyed it big time, even with the downer ending. Not to mention the adaptation of What Goes Around Comes Around and Silent Partner, their take on it was pretty good. Though the original, the 1984 version, is still good. It's just as dark. Here, it's still just as dark, just more depressing. But, I'll be honest, Season 2 has been much better than the first one. Whereas the first season was meant to introduce the characters and everything like that, Season 2 decides to take the status quo and throw a monkey wrench into it by having an entire arc. Remember in the first episode, the mutation infestation, where they were trying to stop the Kraang from trying to get mutagen to the Kraang base? Guess what? The turtle screwed up and mutagen ends up all over the city. One strikes April's dad, and you can tell that the monkey wrench just kicked in and the status quo suddenly changed. Sure, it was only temporary, but seeing April be like so angry that she blames the turtles for what happened, yeah, it hurts. It absolutely hurts. But I also noticed that most of the episodes that I saw in Season 2, even if they were just one-shots, all involved the mutagen in some way. I personally felt that all of it combined is a pretty interesting story arc. The turtles see the consequences of their actions on how mutagen pretty much changed the lives of people all around them. Some good, others bad. Especially on the bad, because one of them ends up having an unfortunate circumstance and ends up now cryogenically frozen. Timothy. Yeah. The others, meanwhile, they were alright, though it makes me curious if we'll ever see them again. Who knows? But what I will say is that Season 2 as a whole is much better. It had this arc where it's centered on the turtles trying to stop a mess, only for them to make a bigger mess in the process. We got new characters, we got new changes happened, and the ending to the season sets things up nicely for Season 3. Because yes, the turtles have been beaten, and they've been beaten hard. They've been beaten really hard, and the only way they can be able to get out of this unscathed is to retreat. So now they gotta move to the countryside to heal up. Hopefully by then they'll be back on their feet and they can be able to set things right. There are too many favorite moments to count. If I were to list them, trust me, it would take me like 20-25 minutes. If you haven't seen the two-parter, or if you have, let me know. But for those that haven't, watch it. And you will see what I mean that the Season 2 finale was just awesome. It was just awesome in so many ways. But what to come for Season 3? Here, boy, there's going to be a lot more. And I did mention already that I started doing these TMNT reviews when Season 4 began. After the events of the Season 3 finale. Season 3 is pretty much the last season I have to review for TMNT 2012, and once I'm done, that's it. However, I decided that I am going to be redoing 3 episodes of Season 4 that I kind of rushed into doing a review in. The only reason why I rushed it is because I had no idea they would be airing, and I should have actually done it sooner. But, to make up for this, after I finished reviewing Season 3 of TMNT, 2012 of course, I will be re-reviewing those 3 episodes. And then that's going to be it for my episode reviews for the TMNT 2012 season. Until September when I review the 2018 series. That's going to be a topic for another day. But anyway, yeah, my rating for both parts and the season overall will be in the description below. I look forward to hearing from all of you guys. This review isn't long or big or anything like that compared to what I did with my season 4 finale. That one's still my biggest project ever. But hey, it's better than nothing, I suppose. I've been enjoying this show so far. My only regret was not reviewing these back then. Had I reviewed them back then, maybe I would have had a different opinion. But my opinion on this show hasn't changed. The series is good. And for a 5-season series, it is awesome in so many ways. I'm looking forward to what Season 3 has in store. And Season 3 is going to be good. I hope you guys look forward to these reviews too, because next week we're returning back to 2 episodes a week. Every Sunday. Starting with Season 3, Episode 1, Within the Woods. That is going to be it for this episode review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. And if you did, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. And I will see you guys next week when I start my TMNT Season 3 episode reviews. Season 3 is going to be a big one, I tell you. A big one. Alright, that's it. If you've seen the episodes, let me know in the comments what you think. I look forward to hearing them from you. This is Mega Man NG signing off. Peace out. See you in April when I start Season 3. Booyakasha!